This is Unedited Bugs. My name is Carl, and I'm not sure why you're watching this video, but I am going to do an unedited version of what Devin was asked to do and what Devin did, kind of. There will be a companion video to this where I'm actually going to explain what I'm doing. This is just so you can watch me type, so you can see that I actually did what I said I'm going to do. I'm not sure why you would want to watch this unless you just don't believe me, in which case, enjoy. I expect it to be pretty boring. Right. I'm not, just for the record, I'm not using AWS for this. I'm using Vultr, which is the place where I normally host stuff. I'm not sponsored by Vultr or anything. I've just been using them for a long time because they have good OpenBSD support. Vultr, if you want to sponsor me, have fun. Feel free to reach out. Right. Gonna need these later. And now I can have two different terminals, so I can do two different things at once. So while we're waiting on stuff, I can be doing something else. All right, first thing we need is CUDA. So this is a Vultr instance that has drivers. It doesn't have CUDA Toolkit or anything like that, so I've got to install that kind of stuff. But at least the drivers are there, so I know that they're correct for the hardware that the cloud has. I can't even get a cloud instance that's old enough to run the version of PyTorch that this repository expects. So I have to run a newer one, but it doesn't turn out to be that hard. I should say I have actually done this before once off camera, just to make sure that it was possible and I wasn't going to waste my time beating my head against the wall. Also, so that when I ran into things I got stuck on, you didn't have to sit and watch me. The only thing that was really complicated is that I wasted time on. I could not figure out how to get Apex to install without building it from scratch. So I'm just going to build it from source. It's not the end of the world. It won't take that long. Speaking of which, I won't need that in a minute. All right, so back to here. Where's Apex? There we go. I said I don't need the driver, but I do need the toolkit. And I can't really get any further with the Apex install because the first thing it does is it complains that the version of either PyTorch doesn't exist at all, or the version of PyTorch that does exist doesn't match the version of CUDA that exists. So that's a whole thing. I guess I can go clone this. Oh, it's dash net. All right, so now PyTorch. All right. Yes, I look at my keyboard while I type. See me? .17.1. 17.2. That would not work. There we go. Hey, I told you I was going to make typos. Or if I didn't, I should have told you I was going to make typos. Sorry. It's the whole point/problem of having an unedited version. Um, I guess I can do. Checkpoint. Mm. I spelled it wrong anyway. Those of you that are screaming at the screen that I don't know how to type, I don't blame you a bit. Right. All right. I need, what is it? Is it CUDA ext? Yeah. All right. That will take a while. I've got my data here. Okay, so these requirements are all wrong because they're really old because it's a 4-year-old repo. So I'm going to get rid of all that. And then all right. So now we just wait until Apex is compiled and installed. See how long that takes. I'm not going to speed this up just because I don't want anybody to accuse me of like messing with the video or anything. Feel free to skip. I'll stick a chapter marker at the end of this. Feel free to jump to the next chapter or turn up the speed or something if you want. Or you can just sit here and stare at the screen like I am. I don't care. Up to you. Looks like we're on 11 of 15. I'm reading that right. 12 of 15. It might not be too much longer. I guess I can get this line ready. All right, so there are a couple of things I end up having to fix in infer.py, but I don't remember what they are. So we'll find out together. Maybe import OS. Oh, and there's the Torch 6 thing. Yeah, we'll hit it when I get there. So I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but from what I can tell, the amount of time that Devin took to do this was like hours and hours and hours. So I'm not sure exactly what the hell was going on there. But we'll talk about that more in the other video when I'm comparing between this video and the one where Devin was doing what it did, which is way more complicated than what it needed to do for some reason. Instead of using the code that already existed in the repo that it was supposed to be using, it like created a whole bunch of new stuff for reasons I don't know. And I mean, good for it for creating new stuff, but it was more work than it needed to do. But more importantly, the way they filmed the video gave the impression that Devin was comprehending the code that was in the repository already, and that does not appear to be the case. Because if Devin understood the code that existed already, it would have had a much simpler path to what it ended up doing. Hopefully this won't take too much longer. If I could just figure out how to get Apex to do a binary install, but I never could get it to work with the right version of CUDA and all that kind of stuff. And I got weird errors, and it just turned out that this was the easiest way to do it. So again, feel free to fast forward until Apex is finally built. Or if this is just playing in the background, then you can just hang out. If you are actually watching this and you watch through the whole thing, like, leave me a comment to tell me why you're watching the whole thing. I'm not sure why anybody would want to do that. But if a bunch of people end up wanting to watch me do this kind of thing and make errors and stuff, then maybe I'll start doing a Q&A live stream or something. Q&A, that might be fun. Taking questions in chat. I don't know. I don't know if anybody would want to do that or not. But I would hopefully be slightly more interesting if I was actually interacting with the chat window instead of just staring at the screen watching Apex get built. Okay, remember when I said it looked like we were at 12 out of 15? Yeah, apparently I was wrong. I'm not sure what that was, but it was 12 out of 15 of step 1 out of n, however many n is. The good news is with Ninja, at least it's running in parallel a little bit. Every time it jumps to the end of one, I'm like, yay, it's done. Oh, no, it's not. I'm also pretty completely unsure exactly which parts of this Apex library the roadDamage thing actually uses. So chances are I could have trimmed some of it out, but it's easier to just build the whole thing. And you don't have to wait on it. You can just keep fast forwarding or fast forward to the next section or jump to the next section if you want. I don't remember what my screensaver is set to, but it would be very annoying if it kicked in. So I must touch the mouse every once in a while. And my mouse, I mean trackpad, but whatever. Kind of want to pull up Keynote and work on the script from my other video, but I think it's important that I don't do anything and just make it absolutely clear that this is how long it took and this is what I did. Because if I were actually do the Upwork job, this is basically how long it would take. I would be doing other stuff in the meantime, but I'm on task. This is how long it would take, however long this turns out to be. Which I think and definitely hope is going to be many hours less than how long it took Devin, because Devin seemed to have taken a long time to do it for some reason, but I don't know why. They really just scrolled through a lot of Devin output very, very quickly and made it really hard to see what had actually happened. And I don't know if that was a deliberate, we're trying to obfuscate what happened, or if it's just they didn't think anybody would care. I don't know. For the record, I think Devin's impressive. I'm looking forward to using tools like that. I'm pro AI. The reason I'm doing this is I'm anti-hype. I'm really not happy with the number of people that took the Devin completed jobs on Upwork claim and just ran with it and embellished it. And it's just, looks like we're about done. Yay. Yeah. I was staring at that for a long time. Should have figured that out. All right, so da, 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 da. I forget what I'm supposed to replace this with, str or something. I don't want to upgrade. There we go. Give credit where credit is due. Did I not do the test data? Oh, that's where it is. Have to point it to the right directory. Now what did I do? There we go. Looks like it's doing it now. All right, don't need that anymore. So now we do the detector thing. There's a very long way to install Apex for this. Now, normally what would happen is there would be a way for the customer, we would figure out a way for a customer to supply their own pictures of roads. I should say there's no predictions directory right now. That wasn't what I wanted. Won't validate either. All right. Keep doing that. All right. So let's drop out this. What if I did the dash? Um, is that not it? There we go. All right. Okay. So what did they get? All right. So here's mine. Oh. So their little box is red and my little box is yellow. And slightly different, but it found the same spot in the road that's wrong. So I'm not sure exactly why one of them is yellow and one of them is red. I don't know if it matters or not, but looks good to me. So anyway, so that's what it took for me. What am I at? 35 minutes? So 35 minutes of which like 16 minutes was waiting on Apex to build. So if you actually watch this, leave me a comment and tell me why. Bye-bye.